What's up, everybody? We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, of course, joined by my co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, we were just discussing UFC last night, so let's go ahead and get into it. You were actually mentioning Patty the Batty and
Yeah.
his fight last night. So let's talk about it.
Last night, so I was like half distracted, but I went back and rewatched them, and Patty's fight. They're saying some people are saying that Jared Gordon got robbed from that. I don't know if he got robbed, but I don't know if Patty won that fight though. I think Jared Gordon had the edge in that fight, but I don't think it was a robbery. Dana White said something completely different too. It's so confusing. I don't know what other people's opinions are on that one. I guess it's a little weird. But Jared Gordon was really tough, so I was surprised about that. The main event was weird. I don't think I've ever seen a main event title fight end in not just a draw, but a split draw.
I thought that was really strange
Weird.
as well.
Like, how many draws are there? How many kind of draws are there? But anyway, nonetheless, it was for a belt and it was a draw, so neither of them got the belt. Dana White was like pissed off about that fight, even though I thought the fight was pretty crazy. It was action-packed.
It's a main event fight, and there's no decisive winner, so that's.
But he made it sound like
he's frustrated.
He made it sound like that these guys were boring or something. I'm like, I didn't think it was boring. I thought it was a crazy 5-round fight. Dana White was, I don't know if he was on something, on one. I don't know. Like, I watched the press conference to see what he was going to say. He had weird reactions to all the fights. So the main event, that was so weird. And now none of them have a belt. And 2 other people are going to fight for the belt. Glover and Jamal Hill are going to fight for that in Brazil, which is weird. Like, I don't know. You're just going to forget about the 2 guys that just fought just because they had a draw. They don't get a chance to get that belt, even though they both fought the best that they could, So, yeah. And then, let's see, Raul Rosa. Oh my gosh, that guy's like 18 years old.
Youngest fighter in UFC history and youngest winning fighter in UFC history.
Yeah, because now he's in the UFC after getting in there from Dana White Contender Series, but now he won his fight, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's so weird seeing a kid in there,
Right.
Can't he? I mean, I was gonna say he can't drive yet. Yeah, he can drive, but he's going through all those things that you
can't buy alcohol. That's what he like. He can't buy alcohol and he can't rent a car.
Yeah, he can't rent a car. It's funny, but that fight, got a sub, so that's awesome.
And fast too. First round in less than 3 minutes. That was quick.
Yeah, of course it was. So that was cool. What's another good fight?
The fight right before it.
I didn't pay attention to that one.
You should have. It was quick.
Was it?
23 seconds.
Well, that's what he does.
Went after him and just put the pressure on and took it to him, and Dawkins just never recovered and just laid out.
I bet he didn't want to go all the rounds. He probably just wanted to get it over with quickly.
And it worked.
Yeah. Well, that's what he does. I'm glad to see him do that again.
Did you happen to catch the Bryce Mitchell fight?
Bryce Mitchell, I did a little bit. He got subbed. I forgot with what, but yeah, poor guy. I was rooting for him. I wanted him to win.
Same.
Darren Till, I don't know, what's gonna happen with him.
3-fight losing streak.
Yeah. So that sucks. I was looking forward to his fight because I haven't seen him. We don't get to see him fight a lot. Had a layoff, so now I don't even know if he wants to fight anymore after that.
We'll see. It's interesting because
I don't know. They were talking about maybe a weight change, but I don't think he can cut any more weight. Possibly going to, what is it, welterweight? He's at middleweight right now. He's just a big guy. I don't think he could do that, but they were talking about that. I'm like, that's weird. And I don't think he'd want to do that, but yeah.
And Santiago had a opponent change for Alex Morono and then still got the win.
Yeah, I didn't get to rewatch that one, so I kind of don't really even know too much about that.
And then we talked about Patty the Batty, who you.
I don't know, man. I don't think he won that fight, unfortunately. this Jared Gordon dude's pretty tough. I didn't know that. I didn't know who he was, but he is really tough. Surprised. So I wonder what's next for him. But yeah, he's saying he got robbed. I don't know if he got robbed. He did land a lot of strikes. Patty won or landed a lot of strikes too, but they were all, I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it again. But and then the judges scored it weird too, where you would think it would be, if anything, I think Jared Gordon would have gotten the unanimous decision, but it didn't. And then I'm trying to see it other ways, and I just can't see it another way.
Yeah, you can't see it in a way that he would get the win.
That he would get, yeah. And then the judges are weird. I don't know. Dana White seemed upset about that fight too. I don't know why. Good fight.
It's Dana being Dana.
Yeah, but he was especially angry. I don't know.
Now I'm curious on how this was considered a draw.
It was a very, very close fight. I don't disagree with the outcome, but it sucks. It was a crazy 5-round fight. It is exchanging, strikes. So, if you were to really look at it, all aspects, strikes landed, but also if you're going to throw in damage in there, who made the most damage, Jan was kicking the crap out of Magomed's leg for a while. So I would, if
you would think that had something to do with it.
Yeah, if someone had to win, I think Jan would have gotten it, but only based on that. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
All right. Well, that was UFC 282. And then we're going to go ahead and check out I believe it's next week. Let's see. The 17th. Yes. So next weekend, we have a UFC fight night with Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland, number 3 versus number 7. And both fighters are coming off losses. Cannonier 15-6, and then Strickland is 25-4. That should be an interesting bout, especially because you have number 3 and number 7? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see this bout.
I haven't seen those two fought in a little while, so that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think Cannonier would get that one.
You take Cannonier? I'm taking Strickland.
Yeah, I'd go with Cannonier.
All right. Let's see what else we got on this card. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I didn't know you were still fighting. Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, what happened to him?
I thought his contract had expired. I'll be honest.
I forgot about him completely, so I wasn't even thinking about him.
Wow. That's crazy. That 19-13 with 1 no contest versus 28-10. He's coming off a loss. Julian Erosa is coming off of a win in his last bout. I really don't want to pick for that. I just thought that was crazy that he's fighting on the card.
Yeah.
Bobby Green versus Drew Dauber. And then in the prelims, we have Corey McKenna versus Cheyenne
Lismus.
Yeah. So that's on that card.
1 female fight. Oh, Brian Battle. Okay.
So a lot of up-and-comer, more or less fighters that have a little bit of experience, but are not to where they are on the main stage of a UFC pay-per-view card.
Yeah, and then, it's the end of the year. They're trying to just probably finish out the year with as many fights as they can make, I guess, for them.
Very true, especially because we're coming up to the New Year, the holiday, in a few weeks. But right now, we have a guest joining us. We have Joy Ann Pintel, right? Pindle or Pintel?
Pendle.
Pindle. Bah. I'm bad with names, so that's why I got to ask.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Can't complain. So you're going to be competing on the 17th at 559 Fights, correct?
Yes.
All right. So tell us how your training's been going for this.
It's been going really, really well. I broke 3 of my ribs back in April, and so I had to take a couple months off. But then starting June 1st, I just threw myself into it. Still couldn't grapple really in June or July. And I had to pull out of a fight in July because I just couldn't grapple yet. But worked on my striking really, really hard all summer, all fall. I did several smokers, those PKB, those Muay Thai smokers, and just really, got it done and was able to put my improvements on display and make my coaches proud. So just turning this grappler into a striker, I already have my black belt in jiu-jitsu, but to really get my hands going, get my kicks going, get everything flowing together better. It's been really cool to see the improvements the last 6 months, and I cannot wait to show it off.
So what gym do you go to?
I train at Precision Jiu-Jitsu, which is Sarah McMahon's gym and Chad Bingham.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. So I have a pretty good wrestling coach.
That's really great. And what weight class are you fighting for?
So I walk around about 160 normally, but and then I'll fight at 155 or 150 as an amateur. But this fight is at 160 because she wasn't going to be able to go any lower than that. So that was fine. She has the welterweight title right now. So she fought at 170 last time. But she'll be dropping down to 160, and I'll be coming up to 160. We'll meet in the middle.
How do you feel about that?
Fine. I've competed against all sorts of different size girls in jiu-jitsu. I've competed against and beat girls that weighed 100 pounds more than me. So it's not really a problem. I mean, obviously MMA is different, but it doesn't worry me at all. I'm 5'11". All my weight is muscle, I'm not worried physically about the matchup.
I totally forgot what I was going to ask. So you go for it, James.
So
what happened in my brain?
Your black belt in jiu-jitsu. How did you start getting first into jiu-jitsu and then eventually into MMA?
Yeah, so funny story about that. So after college, I just was getting a little bit out of shape. I was a little chubby. I wasn't happy with how I looked or how I felt. And I wanted to just get a fun workout in. I knew that I wouldn't get the motivation to go to a regular gym and get on a treadmill or anything. So I had seen a clip of Ronda Rousey breaking Miesha Tate's arm, and I was like, I could do that.
I love it.
No problem. Easy.
Yeah, and I just Googled MMA gyms in Sacramento. Uriah's popped up. So I went down to Ultimate Fitness and just signed up and just started doing jiu-jitsu. So I've just been doing it ever since. And obviously, I got in shape and learned a couple things about how to fight.
So what was the transition to MMA though? Because you started to get in shape and do some jiu-jitsu, but what made you decide to do MMA?
Well, everyone around me was doing MMA. Obviously, I was that alpha male. So I saw that and I just was curious. I was like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And maybe I'll just do one amateur fight and see how it goes. And I just got hooked. You know how it is.
Just one. Okay, one more.
Exactly. But the other thing is, just as a martial artist in general, you don't want to walk around thinking that you're invincible when you're not, and I mean, we're not invincible anyway, there's weapons, there's other things that can get involved when you're, out there in the world, but still in the spirit of hand-to-hand combat, you want to know that you really can be able to handle yourself. And jiu-jitsu, I do believe, is the ultimate form of self-defense, and it is the best martial art if you only have to pick one, or you only get to pick one. But strikes change everything. And so I just want to know that in a situation, if somebody jumped me, on the street, I would have some sort of idea to know what to do, because if I just get knocked out, well, my jiu-jitsu is worthless. So that was more, the inspiration behind really wanting to at least take one fight, because I want to know that I can really put my jiu-jitsu to test and have it work for me and be able to effectively use my jiu-jitsu no matter what's happening, no matter the rule set I'm being hit. I can still figure out how to shut my opponent down and win that fight.
So you said that you're a black belt right now, right?
Yes.
How many years did that take you?
7. 7, which is quick. Normally it takes about 10, but I competed. But I started competing right at the gate as a white belt. I competed 6 months into my training and just kept going. I've won the IBJJF Worlds as a purple belt in no-gi, and then I've won it. I got double gold as a Master 1 black belt last year at no-gi Worlds, which put me. I was actually I just received an award from the IBJJF for being ranked number 2 in the world for the 2021-22 season for Master 1 female black belt.
Wow.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm passionate about jiu-jitsu. I love it. I have competed on the Fight to Win shows a whole bunch, and like I said, the pans. I've won the pan championships before, and I just love to compete.
So, do you have a goal of going pro?
Definitely. So I started working with my coach, my MMA coach, Daniel Brito, in 2019. I was actually an 0-2 amateur at that point. My first couple fights had not gone so well. Well, they didn't go badly, but I mean, I lost 2 decisions. One of which, so the first one I lost, fair and square. She was just way more experienced, a better opponent. And I just wasn't, I just couldn't figure out how to really get the fight to the ground and to get it going in the direction that I wanted to. So the fight went okay. I didn't get hurt, but I mean, I lost the decision. The second fight, I lost the decision, which I really didn't feel like I lost. So, and I've always wanted a rematch with that girl, but she won't give it to me. So whatever. But then I met my coach, and we started working together, and we have 3 TKO wins now. So I went on a win streak in MMA, and then we've won 6 smoker fights together, Muay Thai smoker fights, and then a boxing smoker fight. So we're on, I think, if I win when I win this fight next weekend, we'll be on a 10 fight win streak together. So
and not only that, you'll be a title holder.
Yes. Funny story about that. I have to spill about this. So I fought Kaelyn Chandler for it was Evolution Sports Expo back in February of 2020, like right before COVID hit. And the promoter told us it was a title fight, and it was for their organization's title, not like a Camo State title, but it was a title fight, and we're the main event. And I won the fight, and the promoter, I was like, "Where's my belt? Because I need a belt for the pictures." And he's like, first he tried to act like it wasn't a title fight, and I whip out my phone and I show him the text messages, and I'm like, you specifically told me it's title, like, look, it's a title fight.
Yeah, that's suspect.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, we forgot to get the belt, or we don't have it, and I'll make it for you, and I'll send it to you." And he just never did. So technically I do have a title, I just don't have a belt to show for it. Wow. Thanks a lot, Evolution. That wasn't cool.
That's crazy. That's the sketchiest thing I ever heard.
Seriously.
Wow.
Seriously. But 559 luckily is not sketchy at all. They're legit. I fought for them I've fought for them a couple of times, and they're so good to work with, and such a good show, such good production, great video. They get great videos of the fight, great pictures. Of all the amateur shows out there, 559 is definitely my favorite.
Very top notch. We completely agree with a few of their shows, and we absolutely love it.
That's great to hear that other people think that also about 559.
Yeah, as a fighter, they definitely.
That's good. You guys get. The production's really good. You kind of get a feel of like what it might be when you do go pro. For UFC or Bellator or whatever.
Oh yeah. So I got off on a rabbit trail. I didn't actually answer your question. So yes, my coaches and I told them it's up to them when I go pro. I'm not going to make that decision because I did jump into the amateur fight scene just a little too early. My other coaches at the time actually told me not to take the fight that I took for my first fight because she was too experienced. But I just was over eager, and nobody else would fight me. I couldn't find a good matchup, and I was like, whatever, I'll just fight this girl, even though
they'll take anybody.
Yeah, and obviously I paid for that, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. I told my coaches I will go pro when they say I can go pro, And I have an offer from Valkyrie to fight Lauren Garcia in March for the lightweight state title. So it's like I could stay at amateur a couple months longer and get that lightweight title along with that welterweight title, which would be sweet. Or we could just go pro, but it's up to my coaches. We're just going to see how I perform this weekend, and they get to make that decision for me.
So you were a black belt when you started doing MMA, or were
purple? I was a purple belt.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Do you know anything about the person you're fighting?
Well, I've seen her fights on YouTube, but no, actually, I know nothing about her on a personal level because I didn't really try to. Well, I tried to find her briefly on social media, and I couldn't, and then I just. It's like, I don't care. But
I'm always curious about some fighters' prep, and like I know some fighters will watch their opponent just to see if they have any tells when they fight, and so that's why I ask such questions.
Yeah, I like to watch my opponent. The big thing is we're all just human, and nobody is that scary. I mean, she's just another woman my size who thinks she's bad, just like I do. So what's there to fear, But yeah, I watched both her fights. Her first fight, her opponent really was not ready to get in that cage at all. Her opponent had no idea what she was doing. So, I mean, no disrespect to my opponent, but, it wasn't exactly a very challenging fight. She got the win. That's good for her, but she didn't have to do much for it. The second fight, she had to work a little harder, but still, that wasn't a really high quality opponent. She has not encountered an opponent like me, and she's gonna be surprised, I think, on Saturday. I have faced the highest quality opponents, obviously in jiu-jitsu, the very, very highest quality, and Carlene Chandler was a very high quality opponent. She was a very good fighter and is a very good fighter. And that was a good fight, but I finished her. And a couple of the other girls I fought, they were, I've fought some high quality girls. I know about real competition. I don't know that Julia knows what she's actually signed up for.
Ooh, that's a good point.
and also, listen, there's just no faking hard work. You can't pretend. That's the nice thing about all of martial arts. It's real. We're fighting. You're gonna find out. It's not about smack talk. It's not about appearances. We're gonna get in there and we're gonna do the thing. And I've been putting in the work daily. Every single day for 6 months. Working and getting better and making improvements and competing and staying on that grind. I'm curious to know what she's been doing the last 6 months, and also, listen, I'm not trying to be rude here or anything like that, but there's an obvious difference in physique, between the two of us. And once again, you can't fake that. That's not Instagram filters.
Yeah.
That's not some BS that, this is work, this is hard work. It shows. But to her credit, she came down from 185 to 170. She clearly is, improving herself physically. She is working hard and getting in better shape and all that. But I'm a lot further ahead in that department. I just think as far as just physically the matchup, my cardio, my endurance, my strength, my speed, and then all my technical training as far as grappling, striking, wrestling, I just don't see where she has any chance.
So which one do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the jiu-jitsu competitions, or have you started to enjoy Muay Thai more?
Oh man, I can't choose anymore. I used to love jiu-jitsu more than anything, but striking is so exciting and it's so challenging, and I finally feel like I'm really finding my groove. I'm finding my rhythm. I'm really figuring out how to be a striker, and it's exciting. And so, right now I'm much more interested in striking than grappling. I just want to throw hands.
Do you, I'm sorry, you said you did do, some, PKBs and smokers, you said, for Muay Thai?
Yeah, the PKBs, they're just little Muay Thai smoker fights, and they're good for experience and just just getting in there and having basically a real hard spar session with somebody you don't care about.
Yeah.
But they do a really good job. The IKF, they have us wear headgear and big gloves and shin guards, and they try to make sure, we're not actually going to knock each other out. They won't let us throw like big old head kicks at each other and stuff like that. They'll stop and be like, hey, lighter on the power. But I mean, it is a fight. Like we're fighting for sure, but it's supposed to be, a point-based tournament, not trying to knock each other out. Like they try to keep you safe,
which is weird. It's kind of weird when you're in the moment. You're like, what am I supposed to do?
Everyone's going as hard as they can. It's just if you do throw a big old head kick, they're gonna stop and warn you and tell you not to do that, because they for insurance and all that, they're not trying to get in trouble.
Although I have seen quite a few knockouts at those things.
For sure, it happens, but no, it's a good way to get your feet wet in fighting if you haven't ever had any experience yet. But it's a good way to get in there, and it's also just a good way to just keep growing your experience.
That's true. I agree. Do you have a preference on? I know this is probably like super in the future, but like say you did go pro, would you try to jump into the UFC, or do you have your eyes set on Bellator or any of those other top organizations?
So I, as a professional, I'm going to be a 145er, and the women's 145 division is just wide open. I mean, they just signed Danielle Wolf. She only had one professional fight. She got signed to the UFC as 1-0. So I just don't see why I can't go to the UFC like quick, there's just not a lot of competition in that weight class, and they need good people. And the fact is, I'm a high quality fighter and an opponent, and I can give those girls a real good run for their money and beat them. And so, my plan, I want to maybe do Invicta. Invicta would be a really good league to get some experience in with, and just whatever, A1 Combat has some shows. They're doing some pros. Dragon House, just get a few fights in, and then and then maybe talk to the UFC. That'd be great. Of course, I mean, isn't that every fighter's goal to be in the UFC? I mean,
pretty much.
I think so. Yeah,
kind of have to. PFL is doing a really good job with their women's divisions, and they seem to take care of their fighters really well. So I'm open. Yeah, I'm open to whatever options, but when I turn on UFC and I see these 145-pound women going at it, I just look at that and I think to myself, I should be in there.
That will definitely be a possibility. I think you make a good point about the weight class, because you're used to seeing 135 and below in UFC particularly. I feel like they don't have a whole lot to pick from there once you get to 145.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the women's 145 class are women who are really bantamweights, but they simply don't want to cut weight or can't. Yeah. Maybe they're having issues with their weight, but really they're 35ers. Listen, I'm 5'11". I'm built. I'm big. I couldn't make less than 145 to save my life. Like I am an actual 145er. So once again, there's a saying someone just mentioned to me, like, you can't teach size.
That's true.
I have great reach. I know how to use it. I just I will be a real problem at 145 for everyone.
That's really exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with your career. That's really interesting.
Thank you.
Same
here. And I'm really excited for this test against Julia. I mean, she has big, heavy power, a big, heavy right hand. She has good power punches. She is strong. She's powerful. And so that's going to be good. I have to, keep my distance and be aware. And I can't take her lightly. I mean, you can never take anybody lightly. It's a fight. Anything can happen. She absolutely could knock me out if I am not, sharp and on my game that day. So she's going to be a great test. And I'm happy she stepped up and wanted to do this and took the fight. And we are definitely going to put on a great show for everybody.
That's awesome to hear. Is there, do you have social media that people can follow you on, like Instagram, TikTok, what have you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Killjoy Jiu-Jitsu, and on Facebook, it's Joy Ann Pendle. And I don't have time to do TikTok or any of the other stuff.
You never know. Like, TikTok's a thing. I'm not on it, but it's a
I don't touch it.
Eventually, I'm going to have to do it.
All right, Joy, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your fight on the 17th. Good luck, and we look forward to catching up with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. That was awesome. I look forward to seeing her fight
I'm
in the future.
excited for her.
Same. Now, 559 Fights, that's where she's going to be competing. That's on the 17th of December in Visalia, because, I mean, that's what that Visalia is home of 559 Fights. Let's just be honest about that. And they put on a great show. That's one thing that me and you have experienced. We've gone to a few. I've known quite a few fighters that have competed in it, and they had nothing but good things to say. So I do look forward to that. But let's go ahead and keep on keeping on with the world of mixed martial arts and pros, that is. Let me see. Let me get my mouse up. Where's that? I hope my mouse didn't die on me. There we go. So we discussed the fight night for this coming week for UFC. And let's see. We also had Bellator that happened the Friday before. So the day before the UFC pay-per-view, there was Bellator. And Liz Carmouche won.
Yes.
That's all we really need to know. She won.
All.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. But you know what? We have another guest. We are now joined by Gino Gonzalez. Gino, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man.
All right, cool.
So you're going to be fighting at 559 Fights on the 17th?
Yes, sir.
We actually just had a fighter on, a female fighter named Joy, who she's going to be competing there as well. So tell us a little bit about your prep for this fight on the 17th.
I will be wrestling, so mainly stand up as well, though. So I'm going to see if I can keep it to the, like standing up. But like if I can't, then I'll be ready for the floor. And I'm just working on my endurance, my stamina, my breathing. That's about it.
How did you get into MMA?
My cousin Nico. Ever since I was little, I used to watch MMA movies, and I used to always love watching it. And I just barely started this year, and I'm just kicking ass.
Well, what movie specifically inspired you? Like, I'm an old school martial arts fan, so like me, Jean-Claude Van Damme, kickboxer.
I could do his kicks, man. I could do his kicks. That's Bloodsport.
That's what's up.
Those are my favorite movies right there. Heck yeah. And It Man, even though it's still kind of complicated to do all this.
It Man, come on
movements. I like doing those kicks from Jean-Claude Van Damme. Those are cool. The helicopter kick, tornado kick. I could do those. But I'm not gonna do them on Saturday.
No.
Why not, man? Give it a shot.
Yeah, I might. We'll see. It just takes time. I gotta learn how to set it up.
And what weight class is this for?
155.
Lightweight. Have you always been in that weight class?
Yeah, I normally walk around at like 170.
Oh, okay. And
so down like 15 pounds. When I first started, I used to weigh like almost 180, like 179. Mm-hmm. And then I started this year, and I cut like 25 pounds around there.
Good job, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Wow.
I'm planning on going to 145. So if I ever go pro, when I go pro.
There you go. Is that your eventual goal, is to go pro?
Yeah, I want to go pro. I want to be in the UFC. It would be nice to meet Dana White and Joe Rogan. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a dream come true.
How long have you been doing this?
Like 12 months now? No, like 10 months. I started in March. Yeah, I started in March.
Okay.
So
Damn,
yeah,
and
really
you already
started this
have
year.
Very
Yeah,
You
recent.
have 3 fights under your belt already? Damn.
yeah, I know. I'm fighting for a belt, man. It's crazy. I'll be ready for it though.
And you fought all at 559 fights. So
Just
you're
fights.
do you still have jitters when you go in, or you just because you've been competing on such a high level with 559 fights, you just go in and you're ready to go?
Yeah, my first fight, I had a little not goosebumps, like a little butterflies, but that kind of went away. Once I'm in there, man, it's wartime. Wartime. I don't even pay attention to no ring girl or anything. I just focus on my opponent. I know when I was outside of the cage, I look at the ring girls, like who don't, But, when I'm in there, I don't even know that they're there. I just focus on my opponent, and it's on. See, I'm ready to go.
And what gym do you fight out of?
Red Wave MMA. It's a wrestling gym too, and then I train at RDC Boxing in Fresno. They're all in Fresno.
Red Wave, is that the one on Herndon? Is that
Herndon and Villa, yeah.
Oh, okay, I pass by that one all the time. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if it was just wrestling or what, but that place looks pretty cool in there.
Yeah, that's cool. Hopefully they get a new gym. They're in the process of getting a new gym. And then I train at RDC. They just opened up. It's a boxing place. I go there to get my hands right.
Right
So
on.
what do you prefer as far as your strategy? Are you more of a wrestler, striker? What do you like better?
Striking, kicking.
You feel more comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I like keeping my distance. I got some good kicks, man, and I'm not too sure if I'm gonna do it Saturday, but it would be nice, if I can see it. I'm gonna hit those kicks,
If the opportunity presents itself, man, just throw it in.
I mean, he is kind of short. I feel like he's gonna try to like rush in and take me to the floor, and I don't want to just hit those kicks just to hit him.
Yeah.
I want to play my cards right.
Well, since he's shorter, he might try to fight you in the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a strong guy. His probably game plan is like he's probably gonna take me to the floor. I won't let that happen though. We'll see. Yeah, I've been working on my ground game too ever since my second fight. Due to the ground game, but I've been working on it tough.
Have you ever thought about maybe doing any tournaments for jiu-jitsu or even Muay Thai or anything like that?
No, but it'll be nice to. Just don't know where right now. I'm just focused more on wrestling right now at the moment. Get my wrestling up. Wrestling's tight. I had a brother that did wrestling, and he was pretty cool at it. And,
so you said you've been doing this for, I'm sorry, you said 6 months?
No, like 10 months since March.
Well, less than a year, I guess.
Yeah, less than a year, like 9 months, almost 10 months.
So do you plan on, staying amateur for a while? Do you think you're going to just try to jump in as fast as possible to be pro one day?
I'm trying to be rich by the time I'm 24. It'd be nice. I'm trying to be in the UFC already. I'm ready for it.
I understand that. I mean, and that's the goal.
I already have like FC Fury looking my way, and it was pretty cool. And I know they're gonna keep a lookout for me. It'll be nice to fight on that fight card one day. But yeah, I don't plan on being in 5-9 fights long. I'm gonna put on the show for my family. And best believe I'm finna come home with that belt. Best believe I'm finna put on a show.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool to already get thrown in there for a belt. That's
Yeah. This dude's like 11 fights in, but I don't
wow.
Yeah, he's like 33. Hey, I'm not tripping though.
No. So have you watched a lot of video on him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a good over right hand. Yeah, he likes throwing those. I'll be ready for it though.
Now, is there a way people can find you on social media?
Yeah, I have Instagram, and my Facebook's kind of like for family, but I have Instagram.
What's your handle so people can look out for you?
Gino Gonzalez with 3 S's.
As long as the 3 S's. All right.
3 S's at the
Gino,
end.
thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it, and we wish you best of luck in your title
Appreciate you
fight.
guys for broadcasting me.
Of course, man. We're big on, like, we're local
I'm
too.
nervous right now, man. Like my heart's pounding.
Oh, don't be nervous, dude. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
I've never had this happen to me, man. I feel like
we're at the bottom, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna get, when you move on, like, you're gonna be talking about Ariel. You're gonna be like, who's James and who's Kaelyn? Like, who are they?
Yeah, like
talking about them. Like,
guy.
oh look, there's DC. Hey, DC, you do a podcast? Let's talk.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere, man. So we're glad that we were able to talk to you at the ground level. We appreciate it.
Heck yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me here.
Thanks a lot, man. Good luck with your fight next week, and we look forward to catching up with you.
Appreciate it, man. God bless.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too, man. Later.
All right, that was Gino. He's going to be competing at 559 Fights in Visalia on the 17th. Man, unfortunately, I'm out of town, so I won't be able to check out that card, but yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah. Man, they 559 really turns around quickly. I
want to know how many shows like ahead they are. Like,
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder, and even promotions in general, how far ahead are they? Since you're not like UFC or Bellator or any of those, how far ahead do you look? For amateur fighters and their schedule. How fast do you want to keep putting out shows? It seems like they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they do it once a month. They do a lot better than other
getting
pro promotions.
Yeah, and they're getting so many more fighters. Even just the females.
Yeah, cream of the crop.
Yeah, they've been coming up a lot more, which is really, really good. And I feel like we've only talked to the females who are, I believe, like 145 and above, I think.
Yeah.
Are the ones that we've talked to mostly, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of, I'm just basically talking about UFC here when I say this. There's slim pickings there for those weight classes up there. I feel like we're always watching a strawweight or bantamweight, even flyweight. And those are basically all the same girls, just like Joy said. They're kind of shuffling. I feel like the 125 and 135 kind of shuffle around a bit because it's so close of a difference, where you could bulk up a little bit, stay 135, or just cut really hard to 125 and you could fight all those girls too. So I feel like you're going to see a lot of those girls kind of cycle in and out of each of those weight classes. But when you get to 145, there's not a whole lot to pick from. They don't even have a 155 for UFC. I know PFL does. I don't know about Bellator. I don't remember. But so I hope, maybe more girls come up and who are that size that can fill in that weight class, fill in those divisions, make it a lot more interesting. So yeah, I'm really used to just seeing those strawweight and flyweight, bantamweight, particularly just UFC. But in general, I feel like mostly those are the weight classes that you'll typically see on a fight card. But now I feel like there's so many more. So
yeah,
it's
so many
exciting,
more women are
amateur
competing.
too. So that's really, really interesting for amateurs in 559 to be putting that on. That's good.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of female fighters, one of my favorites, the person I think that is absolutely the GOAT of female MMA, Chris Cyborg, competed.
Mm-hmm.
She fought.
She boxed, didn't she?
She did. She dropped her opponent and won her pro boxing debut.
Wow.
So Chris Cyborg stepped out of the cage and into a regular ring where she
good for her.
Kicked ass. She did enough to win a pro fight.
That's good.
I agree.
Now I don't know anything about her opponent, but that's good. I like seeing.
We don't need to because her opponent lost.
Okay, so Arlene Blencow. I feel like I know that name. I don't know why. Cyborg's parents going against Bellator. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That was her MMA fight, but
that was her last MMA fight.
Her last MMA fight.
Yeah, we don't. You did. Oh, she.
I don't even know what organization she fought for. Do you?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Huh.
She fought another MMA veteran in Gabrielle Holloway. That's who she fought in pro boxing.
Oh. Yeah, man. I
cool.
don't know a lot about women's boxing anymore. I don't hear about it.
I mean, Clarissa Shields went back. That's about all I need to know.
I only know about her because she came into MMA.
Right.
For a short time. I guess she wasn't into it or something. I don't know. I wanted to see her fight more.
But Chris Cyborg won her pro debut. So congrats to her. I wonder if she'll continue or if they're like, okay, that's good. You did that. Now let's get back to MMA.
Oh, I don't know if it was like a bucket list thing or is it a career thing?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
She might be bored with MMA.
Yeah, because she just kicks ass.
Maybe she just wants to punch.
Right? She's all no kicks, no takedowns. Let's just punch.
Yeah. But she did where'd she go? I think it was a lion fight. Mm-hmm. Muay Thai. She did a lot of Muay Thai. There was an epic fight between her and Joanne Bars. Crazy fight because it's the first time I ever seen Cyborg get dropped. So crazy. That fight
has happened, but Cyborg is a great competitor.
And she lost that fight too, so that's interesting to see her lose a fight. This was even, I don't know how long before UFC or during or in between or after. I'm not. It was definitely before. I'm trying to get the timeline. It was a long time ago. Maybe she wasn't even in UFC yet. No, yeah, she was. She just didn't have her belt. Okay. Anyway, it was a while ago. So.
All right. Well, I'm curious what she's going to do next. If she's going to go back to Bellator and compete, because I mean, she's still the champ there.
She should just go to PFL. That'd be interesting.
That'd be nuts.
If she doesn't.
Now she'd have to fight Larissa Pachenko because I mean she could still fight Kayla Harrison, but
yeah, that'd be either of those would be interesting.
Either fight. Those would be the fights to make.
Yeah, I think so.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Thank you for joining us, folks, and we'll see you guys next time.